buckle up.
Yeah.
Because, and again, there could be other constraints that change that cause, most of the time when we do get the drawdown in Bitcoin, you get that volume and the liquidity moves into altcoins.
Right.
So that's kind of what we're waiting on here, is some upside for a lot of the positions that maybe you and I hold, which I'm happy about. People that are holding Bitcoin are probably not so happy about.
No. And I think that's one of the things that I try to talk about is you know, right now, depends on what asset, but specifically we're talking about XRP, it moves with the market. And there's going to be a time once it's utilized and embraced for what it was created for, that it will detach itself. I think a lot of people are so, I think it's going to be one of those flip of the switch, but not to the point where, along with what Brad Garlinghouse was saying, flip of the switch when it's embraced, but also a flip of the narrative, because there's so many people who've been so pro Bitcoin and everything surrounding it, and so against XRP, especially when they were, you know, in the midst of the lawsuit. And now we're becoming victorious, or we're getting out of that, we're heading towards the ending stages of that. I believe a lot of people were, and I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, because I think that's a question that I'm going to, let me see, as far as that 2 billion, I don't want to jump too far. Yeah, I don't want to jump too far ahead of myself. But I just think that what we're seeing now is actually, in my opinion, bullish. And if there's anything, and I don't mean as far as price, I mean as far as this whole thing coming to an end. If there's any time that I ever thought a settlement is probably near, is when the person or the SEC has actually mentioned, yes, a stupid amount, but it's an amount. And therefore, it starts the conversation. And I think they're at the point right now where they're desperate. I think they're at the point right now where the government doesn't want to give money because they're embarrassing themselves. They're lying. They're getting caught in lies. And so I think at some point they're wanting something. And I think that the most likely place to get it right now is from Ripple. You know.
Yeah, well, they have a small win, small feather in their cap, right? They say, "Oh, well, we got them. You know, we got something," because they done lost on the other 3 points before this.
Yeah.
If they can get something, then there's at least some settlement. They didn't lose because if this goes to court at this point, like a lot of stuff is going to continue to snowball that's not in their favor.
No,
and I think they know that. I think that there's potentially been settlement offers on the table before this, but you need some type of framework to give clarity for things. You need a clear road to operate within here in the U.S. And I think that's what Ripple's fighting for. I think that's why they've drug it out as long as they have.
Yeah.
I think that they had opportunities to be done with this sooner, but they want clarity for the full market here, so that other people can come to market and know what to do to get to market and not have to deal with the SEC. They've got the resources, the people, everything that you need to be able to combat this. And it hasn't been easy for them. You know, this lawsuit's been real. There's a lot of people that I talk to that think maybe it's orchestrated, and maybe it is at a high level, right? You know, we can get the tinfoil hat on, but the implications for the people involved with the lawsuit have been real the last 3.5 years. Right. And I think they'll be very excited to have some closure to it. Right. And to your point, you know, if the SEC did get a small win or a settlement, they can say they did their job and then move on to the next thing, which, you know, we got Coinbase, we got Uniswap, we got all these other Wells notices and other things that are coming down the pike here. And if they've got some ammunition from a settlement with Ripple and some type of framework that they can look at and say, okay, well, we operated like you guys just settled with Ripple because they did this, right? Then it helps the space as a whole.